concerned. He's not nervous, but right there, Cena capitalizing on Brock's breaking his concentration. Again.
What's up, WWE fans? You're watching Wrestling Edge Files, where every slam and surprise matters. Subscribe now and let's roll in. Something feels different in WWE right now, and it isn't because of what we've seen, it's because of what we haven't. Brock Lesnar, the most imposing presence of the modern era, is nowhere to be found. No surprise appearance, no cryptic promo, no sudden interruption, just absence. And in WWE, silence is never accidental. Lesnar's disappearance following Paul Heyman's shifting loyalties has left a gap that feels intentional, almost calculated. When someone who thrives on dominance steps away without explanation, it creates unease rather than relief. The question isn't whether Brock Lesnar will return, it's when and under what terms. His absence has become the most unsettling development on the roster, because history tells us that when Lesnar goes quiet, something decisive is coming. Paul Heyman's dangerous balancing act. For years, Paul Heyman existed at the center of WWE's most powerful alliances, managing relationships that defined entire eras. Brock Lesnar represented raw legitimacy and inevitability, while Roman Reigns embodied leadership, control, and long-term dominance. Keeping both worlds aligned required precision, trust, and constant reassurance. But that balance no longer exists. Heyman's decision to invest his full attention into a new vision wasn't just a strategic shift, it was a message, intentional or not, that certain chapters were closed. In WWE, perception matters as much as reality, and the perception now is that Heyman chose a future over the past. That choice has consequences, especially when the past includes figures who do not take abandonment lightly. The return of the tribal chief. As Brock Lesnar vanished from the picture, another presence made itself known again, Roman Reigns. His re-emergence didn't rely on spectacle or noise. Instead, it came with restraint and certainty, the kind that signals authority rather than urgency. Roman Reigns does not compete for relevance, he assumes it. His message wasn't loud, but it was clear. The hierarchy still exists, and he remains at the top of it. While others scramble to fill gaps and explain absences, Reigns moves with purpose, reminding everyone that leadership doesn't disappear just because the spotlight shifts. His return reframed the entire conversation, turning uncertainty into structure. A power shift no one can ignore. What makes this moment so compelling isn't one rivalry or one storyline, it's the convergence of multiple power centers adjusting at once. Seth Rollins has been operating in a world of strategy and anticipation, navigating tensions that feel intellectual rather than physical. Meanwhile, Heyman's new vision attempts to establish itself amid unresolved loyalties. And above it all, Roman Reigns watches, evaluates, and waits. WWE thrives when authority is questioned, and right now no one is entirely sure who holds it. The power shift isn't loud, but it's undeniable, and every move now feels like it's part of something larger. The cost of divided loyalty. Paul Heyman's greatest strength has always been his mind, his ability to anticipate reactions and shape narratives before they unfold. But divided loyalty has its limits. Trying to maintain relevance across multiple dominant forces eventually creates cracks, and those cracks are now visible. The relationships Heyman once managed effortlessly are no longer aligned, and the fallout isn't immediate chaos. It's tension, silence, and distance. These are the warning signs of a system adjusting to change. In WWE, loyalty is currency, and when it's perceived as split, the value drops fast. Brock Lesnar's absence changes. Does everything. Brock Lesnar doesn't need to be on screen to influence WWE. His reputation alone alters decision-making, pacing, and expectations. With Lesnar gone, competitors are left guessing, not about his strength, but about his intent. Is he watching from a distance, waiting for the right moment? Or is this absence a statement in itself? WWE history suggests that Lesnar operates on his own timeline, and when he returns, it's rarely coincidental. His disappearance has created a vacuum that no one else can fill, only navigate around, and that uncertainty keeps everyone alert. Roman Reigns and the weight of authority. Roman Reigns' power doesn't come from constant action, it comes from presence. Even when he isn't competing weekly, his influence shapes the direction of the entire roster. His return at this moment feels deliberate, as if he's stepping back into a role that was never truly vacant. Reigns understands timing better than most, and his decision to reassert himself now suggests that he sees opportunity in the instability. He doesn't rush to confront chaos, he positions himself above it. That's what makes him dangerous. Not unpredictability, but certainty. Seth Rollins caught between forces. Seth Rollins finds himself in a uniquely complex position, operating between strategic minds and dominant figures. His focus has been sharp, calculated, and methodical, but the landscape around him is shifting faster than any single plan can account for. Rollins thrives in chaos, yet even he must recognize when the stakes evolve beyond individual rivalries. With Roman Reigns reclaiming authority and Brock Lesnar looming unseen, Rollins is no longer just playing a game of tactics. He's navigating a battlefield of legacies. Every move he makes now carries wider implications. A message. Without words. One of the most striking moments of the night didn't involve a match or a promo, but a reaction. Paul Heyman, usually composed and articulate, was visibly shaken by information he couldn't control. No announcement followed, no explanation came, just silence. In WWE, silence often speaks louder than confrontation. It suggests that something is unfolding off-screen, something not yet ready to be revealed. And when someone like Heyman loses composure, it signals that the situation has moved beyond planning and into consequence. The vision tested. Every new era in WWE claims to represent the future, but few survive their first real test. The vision Heyman has aligned himself with now faces pressure from every direction. It must establish credibility without alienating history, authority without overreach. That's a difficult balance, especially when figures like Roman Reigns still command loyalty and respect. A vision can be ambitious, but it must also be resilient. Right now, the question isn't whether the vision is bold, it's whether it's strong enough to stand when challenged by those who built the foundation it stands on. The calm before the turning point. This moment in WWE doesn't feel like a climax. It feels like a pause, a breath taken before decisions are made and paths are chosen. Brock Lesnar's absence, Roman Reigns' return, and Paul Heyman's shifting alliances are all pieces of a larger story that hasn't fully revealed itself yet. These are the chapters where tension builds quietly, where outcomes are shaped long before they're seen. Fans can feel it, the sense that something defining is approaching. A landscape in motion WWE is changing, not through sudden upheaval, but through subtle repositioning. Power is being reassessed, loyalties are being questioned, and legacies are colliding with ambition. This is what makes the current moment so compelling. It isn't about who wins tonight, it's about who controls tomorrow. And as the landscape continues to shift, one thing is certain. Nothing is settled, and no one is truly safe in their assumptions.